Welcome to Capture the Reps podcast, the podcast for fitness creatives by fitness creatives. Each episode, we will dive into techniques, strategies, and behind-the-scenes stories to help fast-track your career. Whether you're behind the camera or in front of it, this is the space to grow, create, and connect. Hit it, Sam.
Glad to be here.
Can I say welcome to the podcast?
Yeah, no.
Just, is
No,
that how
you say it
wanna
every single time. It's dull now.
Okay, well,
It's fine.
how about you start the
Oh,
podcast?
it's dull.
How about, first of all, thank you for the compliment because of how many episodes we've made that you noticed
This
it.
is true.
So humble flex on our end with the amount of stuff we're putting out. And then second, would you like to start it then?
I'm gonna walk in.
We're gonna do a dramatic walk-in. Don't worry.
Stop talking.
Yeah, but here's the issue. You walk through my frame.
He actually walks through four different frames as he sits down. Now the cool thing is here we have a manual focus, so he will be he will come into focus as he sits down. It could be
Imagine
a
we had
dramatic effect.
autofocus and you just ruined all of it.
We're here.
Help me, Sam.
I'm ready.
You are going to provide us with an athlete perspective.
Yeah.
Of what you look for, how to actually how to start a proper relationship with an athlete, and all of those things. So as Chris moves a monitor out of his direction, I'm ready to start.
Let's do it.
I could not see Cole. I was like this.
Oh yeah, that could be problematic.
I was like, hey, Cole.
Yeah. So athletes,
Athletes, yes. I'm one of them. It's a lot of fun to talk to them as well.
we've worked together for
3 years?
3 years
Yeah.
of just documenting Cole's experience, in-person competitions, at the gym competitions, virtual competitions, doing coaching, all that kind of stuff. So let's say if you're a creative, so photographer, videographer,
Yep.
anybody like that, how would you say you should start a relationship with an athlete?
I would say it starts off small. It's about making the personality connection. So you don't really want to work with somebody that you don't really mesh with. So I think having good, banter like we do, or just a good connection, knowing that they're a good person or that they match your demographic of what you were looking for somebody to shoot for you.
So don't immediately go for hey, can I film you? It's
Yeah.
just be a person first.
Yep.
And
I would much rather to know you on a personal level versus your ability on the skills that you have for media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's cool.
Because if we're going to spend 3+ years together, right, I have to be able to have fun with you. I got to be able to talk with you on serious notes, get personal, be vulnerable with you, because you guys see a lot of stuff that most people don't. So that way you cut in and out of these things. So I think creating that foundation of hey, I actually want to be friends with you and actually have you in these, vulnerable spots in my life. And then from there it grows. And then of course, once you have a good relationship with somebody, say they do videographer or photography, and it's not the style you want, it's okay to still be friends with them, but it just might not be something that you're looking for. And then you might have to find somebody else as well. But who knows, maybe they're starting so small that you're one of those first athletes that, jump on board and you're hey, I actually I like this style. Do you think we could switch it up or change a little bit? And I hope that doesn't come into offense to anybody that's in media, but more so just matching the style or the, demographic that they want as an athlete. Would you take offense if somebody was hey, could we try something else?
If I am an established creative that has a certain style, you are hiring me because I have that style, not because you want to see a different style.
Yeah.
If I am a younger creative, a little bit more green, I would adapt and try different things until I find what my true style is.
Yeah.
Chris, would you say that's what you do?
I mean, I've run into issues like that before. Trying a style for somebody else, and then I end up being not super happy with the product that I deliver, and at the same time, that ends up kind of showing. I feel like the work I'm putting out is not the quality of work. Whereas, there's something to be said about being super green in the space. But I think I agree with JT there. It's trying to find what that style is that you're looking for. I think it's kind of our job as a creative to be okay, this is possible, but how about we steer in this direction with that?
That's really important what you
And
just said.
I think that's as an athlete, I'm oh, hey, I kind of like this style, but if you're hey, that's not really going to perform well, and this is what I'm really good at.
Yeah.
As an athlete, I'm okay, I trust you. So and then again, it comes back down to that relationship, okay, I trust the work that you're putting out that I could post and it would do well.
So you bring up a good point there, because it's also the idea of coming with some inspiration. So if you have certain things that you do like, we can take a certain spin on that existing piece of, so like if you're like, hey, I like this reel, I like how it's done, you would as the creator would adapt it to your style in order to create the same flow, because you don't want to outright steal a style.
No, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because you guys are creating things, which
Yeah.
just means it's authentic. It's your spin on what you think is what you're doing is really well. And as athletes, I think we need to recognize that it's like, hey, like this is their style and they're really good at that. And then it comes down to like, hey, like I like the way this company does this and how they make these reels or these photos. Not saying that the person that you're working with can't do it, but it might not be what they're really good at.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
So we have like stylistically, there's considerations. How you get along with someone, the personality. Is there anything else that like sticks out as far as that initial would make you want to work with somebody?
I think for both of your guys' cases, having somebody that does, videography and photography, I think that sets a lot of people apart, because some people are just photographers and they don't know any really, videographers that they're close with or like that they trust.
Yeah.
So to have you guys as a combo, I think that's really something special that athletes could look for.
So when you say combo, are you saying like one person that can do both, or are you saying
Ooh,
like?
Good question. Yeah. So not.
Thank you. Good question.
Not one person. Yeah. Shut up, dude. Not one person that does both, but one person that has another person that has a good relationship with them or like trusts them to do the right job for either the opposite of what you guys do. So, photographer has a good trust with somebody that does videography and the other way around.
Yeah, that's a conversation I just had at Wadapalooza with a videographer specifically, because I'm more on the photography side. And they were talking about, hey, I would like to work with you on something because I'm currently doing both, and it's okay, but it's they're each at a detriment to one another. It is very hard to cover an individual athlete, especially because most of the time you're covering more than one, both doing video as well as photography. Like it's tough. I mean, it's not undoable, but I do agree with what Cole's saying in that, like, there's something nice, especially when you have somebody who can focus on doing the one thing really well and one person that can focus on doing the other thing really well.
Yeah, you don't want to spread yourself too thin.
Exactly.
You don't want to do 80%. You want to give your 100% effort.
Yeah.
Well, and you'll get better quality too, because if you have a person that does video and they're focusing solely on video, then
they're doing the best they can.
Right, and they're not missing anything. And then you have someone solely on photo, they're doing that. That's why, typically at competitions, if it's a higher profile athlete with backing in order to have multiple people there, you'll see like a team.
Yeah.
Right.
You'll see the posse.
Exactly.
Cool.
Yeah.
It gives you a little aura too. I like it.
For sure. No,
so we were at North Cal, for people that don't know. And it's really cool to see like everybody come together as one, as an entire team, just for, one gym or one athlete. And a good point that could be added to the posse is that they have to get along with your spouse as well. And I think that's really cool, because like they're going to be with you either sharing the same hotel room or sharing, the same meals and going out to dinner and going out to these extra things outside of the comps, and also like the recovery aspect where they're like editing really hard and we appreciate everything they're doing, but you're also in the same room as us. So it's like you also got to get along with everybody that's around you. It's
the idea of a support team. Like every athlete that is on your level, semifinals and above, like should have a support team, should have a video and a photographer. Video's entirely a lot harder than photography. Photographers have it a lot easier, but especially ones that, utilize Sony over Canon. But I think like the big thing to get though is the idea of like, us as creatives, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, like we need to attach ourselves to athletes when they're looking to take that next leap of like making semifinals. So for us, it's advantageous to contact you there. However, it's like you also don't want to be coming off as like not genuine and just trying to attach. So it's like build a genuine relationship in a lot of ways too. if you want to continue and have like a long-term type
Yeah.
deal, not like a one-off. Hey, I live in Phoenix, Arizona. Desert City's coming up next month. I'll film for you and then never talk to you ever again.
Yep. Yeah. You want to create those relationships. And it's cool too, because like Desert City is a bigger local comp that we have here.
Great media team.
And it's,
The best.
yeah, sure, guys. And
Best photographers around.
best people around. And it's cool because you'll see people at that level, and you guys have been around elite athletes, semifinal athletes, and even like just regular quarterfinals athletes. And you could tell which athletes kind of have that spark of like, oh, if they stick with this, they'll be high caliber. And from the media standpoint and from the athlete standpoint, having people, same thing goes back to the posse, having a media team that trusts you to do your job and believe in you that you'll make it to those higher, competitions and be that at that elite level, that gives us more confidence, which is really cool.
So this is all assuming that we have access to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
What would you prefer as a way to, again, this is someone that's almost like cold DMing you. Like, is there a best way to build that relationship that way?
Yeah. So for me, since I'm not, sponsored by anybody
Yet.
I would budget. So like for me, so say I'm in California and I'm trying to go out to Miami and you're also trying to go out to Miami. I would, budget for this competition, qualify, and then you're like, hey, I'll be in Miami as well. And, it's hard to say because like you want to give the best experience to these athletes, but you're also like, hey, this is on my dollar and nickel. For the athlete standpoint, for trying to get all this media out, that's the only way that you're going to be able to get exposure and, get these sponsorships. So for me as an athlete that we don't have this great connection yet, I would be like, hey, let me pay for a percentage of the travel. And then from there, you guys could kind of, work
like
out.
a low risk, high reward type thing. Like, hey,
Hey, I'm trying to get content. You're also trying to get your name out there. Like, let me pay for a little bit. And you could also shoot for all these other athletes, but also like highlight me. So I think when you're traveling, or if you don't know anybody, or these athletes that are trying to reach out to media or vice versa, I think coming to a common ground of like, hey, this is my schedule. These are the comps that I'm going to. Let's see if we could work together. Let me budget for these comps. Let me see if I could, give you guys a certain percentage of, revenue from X amount. So not, something that you have to be like, oh, I have to pay for everything and shoot for this guy for free, but at least like, work with them for both standpoints.
Yeah. So as a media, if you don't have that relationship yet, like maybe offer a little bit of a discount in order to get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
And how I would phrase that, and Chris, love your thoughts too, from a media perspective, if you're working with someone out of the blue in this scenario, it's like, hey, like, just so you know, like I typically charge this. Like I typically charge, I don't know, $250 a reel. Mm-hmm. However, I want to get out there. I'm looking to build my presence. I'd love to get the opportunity to work with you and build a relationship. I'd be happy to do it for $150 for a reel.
Yeah.
So that allows you from an athlete to still get a high quality product and to give this person a chance, but it's not like I'm like really in it with this person that I've never met before and that I don't have that trust factor yet. Yeah. And then you as a creative, it's like, well, I don't know. I might have seen clips or I might have a general idea of this athlete and like what they're about. And I might have the same values and we might connect, but I don't know yet. So it's like, okay, I can do that and still go out there and try to promote myself elsewhere.
Yep. Yeah. So kind of an example. So I got, DM, they're like, hey, this was last year, like, hey, are you doing the Summit Games? I'm, shooting for the Summit Games. I would love for you to come out. Just wasn't in my schedule or in my budget, but like they're probably shooting for other athletes. So, and then they're trying to grow their, clients list of like, oh, hey, this guy's, up and coming. Let me shoot for him as well and get more content. And then we could create this relationship. Fortunately, I wasn't going to Summit Games, but that's another, way of trying to get out there. Like, hey, I'm already shooting for all these athletes. If you're showing up for this comp, I'd love to shoot for you too. So something that they've probably already budgeted. And of course, this is from an athlete standpoint, and it's very, particular scenario as well. But that, goes to show that like people want to shoot for you if you're, willing to go somewhere, which is really cool.
There's a multitude of ways that you can go about this. I mean, for me personally, I've gone the road of I will shoot for you and I've stayed with those people, and it's like, okay, that covers my stay. So like that's quite an expense taken off.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that individual's also getting free coverage.
Yes.
I have an established relationship with this person already, right? Like you can't just like cold DM Cole out of nowhere and be like, hey, dude, can I stay with you? It's like, dude, I don't know who you are.
Yeah.
Hell no. On the other end, if you don't know those people, I think doing it for multiple athletes is a good opportunity to build exposure. But I think that's kind of the gosh, how do I phrase this? It's just how you get stuck as a creative if you're not willing to do it. Like we talked about this with the episode with Adam about Desert City, and it was like there is a point as a photographer or a videographer where you have to be willing to do stuff for free. Like I know we very much live in this like, oh, know your worth culture, pay me when I'm like type shit, but I don't know. I think all that's BS. Like you got to be willing to do some stuff, like get your hands dirty, like put your face in the mud and like do some stuff for free, because realistically that's the only way you're going to get the content that you need to showcase to a potential brand or a potential athlete who has sponsorships that are willing to pay you to go out to these competitions to say like, hey, I can do this.
I think it all goes back to the idea of what is me as a creative? What am I trying to accomplish?
Yeah.
Am I trying to get exposure, experience, work with as many athletes as I can? Then if that is my end goal, then it's like, okay, maybe I can stay with an athlete and trade staying with them for some footage. If I just want to work with someone that, is a bigger name or something like that, maybe I offer them a huge discount as a way to just get in the door.
Yeah.
That's one side. The other side is I'm already established in the space. I already have my own business. I have kids to pay for. I have a family to support. When you're in that realm, it's completely different.
Yeah.
So we're talking about two very different things. It's very important to put those out in two buckets. Me and Chris, we have other businesses to help support us so that we are able to do certain things in the fitness space. Yeah. Not everyone has that luxury, so I'm very cognizant of that. I'm very aware of that. So if you are literally trying to make a business within fitness in that scenario, then that's when you look at athlete packages, you look at all of those ways, which is a phenomenal way to do it. So that's when that conversation changes with athletes, with you, right? Yeah. So let's transition into that. I'm reaching out to you because I'm an Arizona local. I'm already going to the competition. I have my own business, and I'm looking to sell you on a athlete package for that weekend. What would you like to see from an athlete perspective that would at least open you up to the conversation of seeing and exploring a relationship with me?
Your content. So if it matches the vibes that I want for my social media, I would, say you initiate the conversation. I'm like, oh, this would be really cool. And then I'll probably scroll through your, business and your content. And if it works out, I'd be like, oh yeah, this is actually something I would actually want to do. And then from there we could talk about pricing. But if it's not like a content that I like adore or want on my social media, I probably wouldn't.
So that's very important what he just said. Notice he didn't lead with price. You led with what does your product actually look like? Yeah. Like what do your visuals actually look like? Like do I see myself falling in line with that? That's the same thing that we just said for trying to just reach out to people cold and trying to just get exposure.
Yep.
It never changes. It's the same stuff every time.
Nope.
The only difference in conversation is that next point of the conversation of, hey, like I want the freedom as a videographer to film whoever I want, whenever I want. So I'm going to offer you a discount so I don't feel it necessary to cover you and focus only on you. And I want to grow my business, my exposure, all that. Or I am running a business. I need this from you. I'm going to cover strictly you, only you all weekend. I'm your guy.
Yep.
Or girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a big difference too between like covering Cole's weekend and covering Cole's competition.
Speak more about that.
I think, this is just a small example, obviously. We started with like check-in photos. Like that's different than, hey, here's some photos from your workout. I think there is something to be said from an athlete perspective that gets an audience more involved into you as a, I mean, you're technically also a creator. you know, with your own Instagram page and whatnot. I mean, like, that's kind of where a lot of athletes go these days, is in like a creative direction. I think there's a lot to be said about showing what it's like for you to show up to the competition, showing what it's like in between, showing what it's like after, right? Like, not just the, oh yeah, we saw Cole do another workout. Like, oh, I want to hear more on Cole's thoughts at the hotel while he's eating whatever his meal prep is that he's eating. You know, like, what is that day in the life almost kind of vibe really show about Cole as an individual? And that, in my opinion, gets people really invested into athletes, really invested into brands, is more than just like, oh, I know this person can snatch heavy and they're doing it in this pair of shoe, but I'm willing to bet if I gave them this other pair of shoe, they could still snatch heavy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that investment from people comes a lot more from like the, hey, what is this? Who is this person?
Yeah, they
what is
want to
this
know
person
who you're
about?
like. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
They want to have more layers. They want to have more depth.
What I think of when JT is saying, hey, I'm going to cover this individual specifically, it's more that might be a different realm, which that has its own price tag compared to, hey, I'm going to cover your competition, but if I'm going to cover his competition, there's a good opportunity that I could also cover a couple other people's competitions at the same competition. You know what I mean? Whereas, like, if I'm doing a vlog style day in the life, I'm going to follow Cole through this whole weekend, that looks a lot different. And I think pricing structure should look a lot different.
I think the engagement is way more too.
I totally
so
agree.
I would say the price would be more.
Yeah.
And I think the other key thing is the expectation is different.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
If I am only doing competition stuff while I'm at the competition and I'm covering whoever I want and just like in that small area, then the expectation is, okay, I just need stuff of me out there. If you're my athlete and I'm signed to you and you're signed to me in that instance, then it's like, I need to be around you more. I need to get you in the warm-up area. I need to tell your story. I want to, like, when you're focusing purely on one thing as opposed to a bunch of different athletes, and that's my preferred style. There's nothing wrong with either style. Both styles work. You know, in your instance, from an athlete perspective, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, like, if I'm popping up at competition to competition, I just need a steady stream of things that I can post for sponsors, for potential sponsors down the road, all that stuff, just keep it going. If I'm an athlete that this might be the only semifinals, right? First time that I've made semifinals and I haven't really gone there before, speaking in the CrossFit space, like, that might be one where you want to go more depth in. And like, I only want you to work with me.
This is what I'm feeling. This is my first time out there. Like, let's dive more deep into not just the workouts, but like how it is.
Yeah.
You know, how the weekend was. And it goes to show too, it's like an athlete doesn't want somebody new following them around because you're a complete stranger of like all these behind the scenes being vulnerable. So I think initially it should start with like a competition style. It's like, oh, hey, like, I don't really know you. I don't really kind of should have you follow me around and like give my food for thoughts or even things that I don't want to be published and you do on accident because we don't know each other that very well. I think that would put a little bit more of a sour taste. So I think when you're initiating this athlete to media relationship, I think you should start with like, you know, photography or like, hey, let's just do a few workouts and then we'll talk outside of the camera.
I love that because then it's like, if I'm popping up to a bunch of different competitions and so are you, and I just happen to be there and I happen to get photos of you at all these competitions, at some point we're invariably going to have a conversation, right?
Yeah.
So you're like, either this person is like stage 5, like stalking me clinger aspect, right? Which would be super weird. Or like, oh no, this person's like really talented and like wants to build a relationship and stuff like that. Like a simple thank you turns into maybe grabbing coffee, turns into who knows, right?
Yeah.
I think it all goes back to the more comfortable the athlete, the better invaluable the content is going to be. Yeah, like I think it becomes a good. We talk about it plenty. Like the more comfortable the individual is in front of the camera, the more candid of a feeling it's going to give off. Which
trust.
Yeah,
all about trust.
Yeah, and that also displays better to your audience because again, they feel like they're getting this more of a personal connection with that individual, and
the athlete's going to look for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? So like you get a big lift. You already know where I am because we've made eye contact or something like that. Like you're going to do some kind of crazy thing right at me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know to like look for me.
Yeah.
And the best thing too is like going back to the behind the scenes stuff. It's like you guys know how to ask good questions when you're more comfortable with the athlete.
Well, I mean, we have so much evidence of me asking good questions on this podcast. So
Valuable questions. When I'm hurting, you know the body language that I'm showing, and you're like, oh, I
I know when to leave Cole alone. Yes.
You either know when to leave me alone, you know when to ask the questions, or you know a weakness of mine. You're like, oh, let's dive more deep into like how he feels after this, or before, if I'm nervous or if I'm excited about a lift or whatnot. So I think it just goes down to being personable or trusting said media guys, or girls. As an athlete, do media people look at their content on Instagram or their social media and be like, oh, this is kind of the style they like? And would you not pursue it or pursue it because of that? Would it matter if it matches your style versus theirs?
I don't. That's a.
Don't say it.
I've
Don't
never
say it.
looked at a athlete's profile and been like,
Okay.
oh, I want to match that content.
Oh,
I
Not
lo-
even match. You'd be like, oh, we would be a good fit. So do you look at athletes and be like, oh, hey, like I shoot content, this would be a good fit?
Not really.
No?
Okay, so instead of looking at, because it was probably done by somebody else, so that really doesn't play a factor into me. However, if you listen to like an interview or a soundbite or a behind the scenes or I don't know, just see their competition, how they carry themselves, visual, are they fun, are they whatever, I'm more likely to want to work with them based off of that
person.
because I'm like, oh, I like this individual as a person already, outside of everything else.
Okay.
Right? Or I like what they stand for. I like their ethos.
Yeah.
If they're religious, I have similar religious feelings. If they're, involved with, I don't know, like charity and stuff like that. Like that's the kind of stuff that's like, oh, okay, that's really interesting. We share a lot of things. And then from a creator standpoint, it's like, if I already have that going in, one, we already have a lot to talk about, whether it is.
And you're excited to start that relationship.
Right? You're excited about it. And then you're almost doing like advanced scouting.
Yeah.
So like if I can go into an athlete's Instagram, scroll through and kind of get a gauge for their personality, I know whenever I do contact with them, I have a little bit more ammo in my pocket to be able to talk to them about certain things that they might have brought up or their personality traits, or how to actually give them a good proposal that would enhance what they've already put out there. So like you might see an athlete that has really big celebrations. So they're very expressive with everything that they do. Great.
Yeah, G or Gi.
Gi, right? Okay, so if we did Gi, right? So Gi always like big lifts, all that kind of stuff. So it's like, what can I provide to Gi during a lifting event that would be different and also enhance what he's already doing? So I mean, I don't want to get into the technical stuff, but it could be literally anything, right? Yeah. And just go from there.
Okay.
Decent question.
I hate this guy. I think for the athletes that are listening to this, it goes to show that both athletes that are trying to make it to the games or trying to make it to these competitions, the media are also doing the exact same thing.
It's a good point.
Like we have to budget as athletes to go to these competitions. Sometimes we can't and sometimes we can. And I think athletes can't take that for granted just because we see media people not doing it or doing it. I think we're both in the same boat. So people that are trying to make it in media and people that are trying to make it to the games or these semifinals, we're all working a second job. We're all trying to budget for it. We're all spending money out of our own pockets. So I think it goes to show that we're all trying to hustle and it's fun to do it together.
I love that. I think that's a great note to end on, and appreciate you coming in on a college football Saturday.
College football
Let
Saturday.
it be known.
Go Blue.
Big Michigan guy.
Michigan.
He went there. It's crazy.
APO. Go to the zoo.
Their football team's back too.
They are.
Okay, we got to end this podcast. Hold on. We'll talk about
Bye,
that.
love you guys.
Talk about that. See ya.
Thanks, man.
Okay. Well, that's a wrap on this episode. Thanks for tuning in to the Capture the Reps podcast. If you're a fitness creative and you found this episode helpful, please share this with a fellow creative and keep creating, keep learning, and keep capturing those reps. We'll see you next time.